I want to add a hit reaction for when you're getting hit. I'm going to go to mixamo.com and look for an animation with a keyword hit. Something like this, the head hit. Download, 60 frames per second. I'm going to drag it into my humanoids folder. Humanoid animations. Drag it in there. Rig, humanoid, apply. This is our usual stuff. Configure. Make sure everything is green. Done. Animation tab, rename it. Head tilt. Or head hit. And the entire animation is a little too long. Let me shorten it. Okay, this looks good. Apply. Now I want to create a separate animator for this. Let me look for the death folder. Okay, let me organize this just a little bit. Create a new folder for the trap that we created a couple videos ago. So spike trap goes under trap. And I'm going to create a new folder called hit reaction. And inside that folder, I'm going to create a new animator. Animator controller. I'll call it head tilt. And I'm going to drag in the animation for the head tilt. Let me look for it. Humanoid animations. Head hit. Drag it in there. Okay, this might be a little too fast. Let me make it 70%. And after being hit, I want to go back to the idle animation. So drag in the idle animation, make a transition, exit time. At the end of the animation, we go back to idle. Okay, maybe 70%. It's a little too much. Okay, so we're going to switch to this animator whenever we take damage. I'm going to go to the damage detector. I'm going to create a list of a bunch of animators. I just have one right now, but for the future I'll have a list. I'm going to call it hit reaction list. Save and go back to Unity. I'm going to drag in the original Y-bot. The original Y-bot yellow. Drag it in there. Oops. Drag it in. And for the list, we're going to add this head tilt that we just created. So drag it in there. And since this is the original, if I hit apply, both Sophie and Y-bot, which are the variants, they're going to have the head tilt. So this is Sophie. All the changes are applied. Y-bot also has the head tilt. And I'm going to delete the prefab. So now I'm going to go back to damage detector. And if you remember this part, damage reaction animation. Now I just got to switch the animator, runtime animator controller, to what we have from the list, hit reaction list. And right now, since we only have one item in the list, I'm just going to use the index 0. Later, this will be a randomized number. For now, 0 will do. And you also want to make sure that the animator goes null. So this will be a brand new animator. This null is necessary for you to restart the animation. When you're getting multiple hits in a short period of time, you might have a hit reaction on top of another hit reaction. Make sure you save. I'm going to go back and play. I'm going to hit the enemy. Okay, it was hard to see because of the lag and the particle effects. Let me play it again. Okay, you see the reaction. But if I punch him again, it's working. But once I turn on AI, okay, we need to turn back the idle to, well, not the idle, we need to turn back the animator to the default player animator once you go into this idle. For that, I'm going to add a new ability. States, abilities. I need an ability where you're going to be able to switch to a different animator. So I'll call it switch animator. Go in there. I'm going to copy paste the format from some other ability. Rename it switch animator. Start with a clean slate. So we're going to have two variables here. One is the timing, switch timing. Oops. And you're also going to have the animator that you're switching to. Target animator. So in the update, once you're past the certain time, if the animation is past the switch timing, then we're going to make the switch. Save all the code, and I'm going to go back to Unity to create the ability. Player, let me create a new folder. I'll call it switch animator. Create the ability. Switch animator. Name it player switch animator. And we're switching from hit reaction. Well, I'll just have the hit reaction name here. And the switch timing somewhere around 5 or 2%. And I'm going to switch back to the default player. So this idle animation is not the same idle animation that we have in the default player controller. So once we go into the idle animation from the hit reaction, we're going to go back to the original controller. And we just got to add the ability that we just created. Drag in the hit reaction switch animator. And I'm going to play. So after I hit AI, it's going to go back to its normal state and be able to chase the player again. Okay, it's kind of clunky right now. We need to add a few more changes. Let me add the ground detector for the idle. And for the default player animator, I'm going to have grounded by default. Okay, I'm going to turn off AI and test this. So hit 1, 2, 3, it works fine. I'm going to turn on AI, see how that works. Okay, it looks like it's taking some time to go back to the default animator. Let me check the hit reaction. head tilt animator. Okay, this was the problem. This is 20%, not 2%. So 0.02. Okay, so immediately the AI goes back to its default player animator after being hit. Okay, that might be a little too quick. So maybe 4%. Okay, that looks a little more natural. Now the spinning back kick should do some more damage. I think that looks powerful enough to be a one-hit kill, but those kind of details I'll add more later on. Okay, things are still kind of clunky, but it's not too much of an issue. They're just details in terms of the colliders not getting triggered. But the general system of having HP, having a hit reaction, as well as death, seems to be working fine. Okay, that's it for this video. Thanks for watching.